Hello, you're welcome to your favorite mass educational channel. Great. I want you to subscribe to the channel if not, and then share for a parent, a teacher, a student to benefit from our lessons. Great. You're doing very well. All right. Now let's look at some solved examples of equations and expressions. In the previous video, we looked at the differences between equations and expressions, and we established that with expressions are just mathematical phrases. Okay, that's the other meaning of that. And so they are not equated to anything. It's just an expression or a phrase mathematically. Now with equations are two expressions equated to each other. So I can have 4x minus 10 equals to 6. So 4x minus 10 is one expression, 6 is also an expression, and then the two of them coming together are equated. So you have 4x minus 10 equals to 6. You can see an equal to sign like an equation with an expression. You don't see an equal to sign. Great, you can look at the previous video. All right, so let's look at these solved examples. We begin with equations. Great. Now, the goal of solving equations is that you let the variable stand alone. Normally, in an equation, there is a variable, there is an unknown or a variable that you need to find. Good. So, if they say 4x minus 10 equals to 6, you are being asked to find for x, and so x becomes the variable or the unknown. Good. And so the goal of it is to find it by letting the variable stand alone. Anything attached to the variable should be removed, and anything besides it or close to it should also be gotten rid of. So we'll look at how to do that. So let's look at the how. As you see on the board now, the first thing you do, the how, is that you group like terms, and then you think about what you are getting rid of. In getting rid of something that you want to get rid of, use the opposite operation. Good. The example there would help us better understand how to solve them. Great. The example is 4x minus 10 equals 6. Good. In 4x minus 10 equals 6, we have 4x as a term, and 4 being the coefficient, x being the variable, and negative 10 or minus 10 and 6 are also two other terms, but these are constants, and that means values without a variable attached to it. Great. So now we need to let x stand alone. With x, there's a 4 attached to it, but we'll pause with that, and we'll deal with the ones not really attached to it but close to it or besides them. That is the negative 10 and 6. Now, 4x minus 10 is on one side of the equation, 6 is on the other side. Good. So we have to locate where the variable is. The variable is on the left side. Good. So if we are going to get rid of anything, we should get rid of any term that is on the left side. And from our question on the board, and that the term is negative 10 minus 10. Now, in getting rid, you need to, like we said, use the opposite operation. Now, what is the operation of 10 there? It's negative or minus. And so the opposite of negative is what? Positive. And know that what you do to the left side, you should do the same to the right side. So I have 4x minus 10 plus 10 on the left, and then you also add plus 10 on the right, as you can see. So you have minus 10 plus 10 on the left, and you have on the right 6 plus 10. Yes. So let's look at what we have. We'll be left with 4x, and minus 10 plus 10 equals 0. So we don't need to write that. So we have 4x on the left equals to 6 plus 10, giving us 16 on the right. Good. We are getting somewhere. Now, you see that the x is still not standing alone. There is a number or value which is called the coefficient, good, of the term. So that is 4. We need to get rid of it. Now, since this is attached to it, you don't use the opposite operation. Since it's attached, you divide it. Right. So remember, what you do to the left, you do same to the right. So divide 4x by 4 on the left, divide on the right 2 by 4, as you can see. And so 4 goes into 4, 1. You're left with x there on the left. On the right, you have 16 divided by 4. 4 goes into itself 1. The same 4 into 16 4 times. Good. So then x gives us 4. Great. I hope you got it. Very well. Very simple. Right. Let's look at an example of an expression. Now, expressions, we have two main types of expressions. We have the A type and the B type. The A type, in the A type, you need to group like terms. In the B type, B type is where you are given an expression with values. So you need to replace the variables with values. And then when you do that, you have a single value or a single answer. Good. An example of A type, y plus 2m minus 2y. That is an expression with no equal to sign. Now, you have 4 terms there. Y plus 2m minus 2y plus 8. Y, 2m, negative 2y, and 8. 4 terms. Now, you need to group like terms. Like terms are normally identified with the variables and the powers. Good. Now let's begin with the variables. We have y. Do you have another y term there? Yes, that is negative 2y. So if I group or bring them together, the y there is positive y. So positive y minus 2y gives us negative y. Now the other term is 2m. Do we have another m term? No. Do we have a constant there? That is apart from the 8? No. Good. So they just stand alone. So then we are going to have negative y plus 2m plus 8. You just bring them together. But you don't add them because they are not like terms. They are unlike terms. This is y, this m, and this is just a constant. So the answer becomes negative y plus 2m plus 8. Very well. I hope you understood the A type. Good. Let's look at the B type, the last part. The B type, that is, let's say 5b. 5b, find the value. You have been asked to find the solution for 5b minus 8. Given b as 2, 5b minus 8, where b is equal to 2, as you can see from the screen. Good. Now, if b equals 2, what do we do? So like I said with the B type, you replace the variable. And what's the variable? It's B. Replace it with the value. And what's the value for B? It's 2. So it means that wherever you see B, you put 2 there. So that is why we have 5. Now because it's attached, you put it in a bracket. So we have 5 into bracket 2. Good. Then minus 8. Now 5 into bracket 2 means that 5 is multiplying 2. 5 times 2 gives us 10. And minus 8 equals 2. And so, with this expression, because we have been given a value for the unknown or for the variable, we are going to have a single value as the answer. That is the 2. So, these are a few solved examples. Great. We'll be looking at other examples, other types examples. No, so let's say this is the type I sort of examples. Very basic indeed. Great. All right. I trust you understood. You can leave your questions in the comment section, your contributions, and everything. Great. Follow us for more of these videos. In the next lesson, I want you to anticipate something very great and exciting is coming up. This is my math friend. Right. See you. Bye.